Hello there, I hope you all are doing well, as today we play Hearts of Iron 4, Red Flood, Dance on the Euphrates, as one of the more, obscure yet, maybe, special nations. That's probably a good word for it. Zeltseria, a great Russian state led by Alexander Kerensky, famous for getting assassinated or something in Kaiserreich. That's really all I know him for. He's a progressive, a social democrat, and today we will do great things with Russia, most likely. Or great things, probably not. Interesting things, most likely. Crazy things for certain. And none of it will make sense, that's guaranteed. But we'll see, we'll see. In Red Flood, no one really won World War I. It ended in a stalemate. Well, it never really ended, it just eventually stopped. Russia is not in the best situation. There's no Soviet Union, but Russia is a little divided, a little decentralized, and there are some of us who are lucky enough to be free. Zeltseria rises from the beautiful sun of the Pacific, looking towards the west, thinking of Moscow, wishing to retrieve its glory. Perhaps it's high time we gave ourselves some rest and look internally. We have a decently sized army for how small we are, and we're bordered by at least one other Russian state. And for a starting scenario, things aren't going very well. We're having a great famine, and there are complications both with the countries surrounding us and with cities inside of our own borders. It's not the best situation right now, especially considering how far we have to go to win here if we're going to unify Russia, which I assume is the end goal. And Yakutia has fallen to the Japanese, kind of, but Japan's in a civil war, so it's a complicated situation. I would say they're ripe for the taking, but I don't know if we should be justifying on places yet. I feel like that's kind of a bad idea until we get focuses to do so or deal with our own internal issues. And now with the famine, things have been set in motion. There's an ultimatum for Kerensky to resign, and resign he will. He's now been replaced, and we will now brace for the consequences of this resignation. The Soviet will now appoint Kamenev. Just as expected, Lev Kamenev will now lead the country momentarily, and Gastev is now demanding that he take the reins, and we will give the reins to him. And now, at last, we are accelerationists. That was, quite the eventful few weeks there. Gastev introduced himself almost timidly. He proclaimed the IPK's collective leadership of the Republic. He laid out an ultimatum to the opposition to abandon their efforts at seizing power from the appointed president. He then named a long list of traitors. His voice was calm and rhythmic. He intonated as though he were reading a storybook. He ended his speech by declaring, again in an unnatural calm, that there was no longer room for the bickering and deviance of the past, that the Republic could only survive if each person fulfilled their role in the great machinery of life, that they must all become we. Yeah. So yes, we will now start with we. We gain the national spirit of we. And now we will start doing things like Homo Metallum, adapt, feeling blood, cold man, initiate, and stuff like live and die in a factory. Production, purpose, component, initiate. Ah yes, this doesn't sound, concerning at all. This is kind of just par for the course here. And now we will progress and evolve into the one state unity, belonging. We'll gain some stability and we'll remove the national spirit Manchurian minority, because we are just one state now, one nation of people who are definitely not becoming robots. I just have to say though, it's crazy how many different possible paths there are. You know that entire sequence I went through? There's like several different leaders for each option. I don't know how complete every option is, but I assume they're all pretty good. There's a lot of content in this one country. You sometimes start thinking that this mod's a little bare bones just due to how many states there are everywhere that only have the default focus tree, but yeah, there's enough content for all of them that don't have focus trees in this one. And we are going to reject a non-aggression pact with Mongolia. Yeah, we can't do that. I might need to declare on them eventually. Also, I would do this decision to get more war support, but there's really no reason to get more because once we do this focus here, we get set to 100% war support. So even if we get more, it's not gonna help because we'll just get automatically set back to 100%. And now we will do the focus Iron Hearts, or as some people may call it, Hearts of Iron. But yeah, it's pretty good. It gives us plus 20% division attack and plus 480 hours of supply grace. That's not overpowered at all. And we have made a feature film called The Liquidator. Yeah, it's about our future plans to have a robot society. We're practically already enforcing that in a way, but that's cool, I guess. And Poland started a war against Bulgaria, which is extremely ineffective and will result in nothing happening, but I don't know, I guess it's the thought that counts. And now we will reach the ultimate reality of this 1984 state and get rid of names. Numerals, designation, initiate. Yeah, good. And we'll invade these guys and get rid of their names too. I'm sure they hate them just as much as we do here. And the Germans are improving relations with us. I could never guess why, but I'm sure it will strategically interest them somehow. I guess, they might be a little scared, if anything. If people are making Terminator movies and then talking about how they want that to be the future, that is a little spooky. Oh yeah, I just noticed our leader's name and our generals' names. That makes sense now, I guess. It's actually happening. Now we're invading Siberia. We got cores on everything. Well, we didn't get cores on these guys up here, but we got cores on Siberia. We should probably capitulate them as soon as we possibly can to get all those mills. We'll need them if we want to compete with the Russian Empire. All we really have is a good air force because I've been producing planes the entire game, and I guess we're still losing the air war. Maybe I need to make like a radar or something. I don't know what radars do. Better detection, giving your planes a better chance to engage them. Yeah, that's what radars do. That's good. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that mechanic where if your planes are further away, they are less efficient. I don't know. Every day I feel like I'm becoming like more and more like Drew Durnell. One day I'm not even going to understand how this game works and I'm just gonna have to watch AI again. Okay, so now we will declare on the central government of the steppes, and then we will be only steps away from Moscow. Well, Moscow might be in the hands of Ukraine and Poland by that time, which is not good because it's gonna be kind of annoying having to fight all these guys just to reunify Russia, but I think we're gonna have a Russian puppet state showing up in a few minutes here. But yep, we've taken Omsk, a great city for sure. And luckily the Russian Empire has held on. They haven't even lost that many tiles, really. This is the worst border gore I've ever seen. Italy owns this. Italy owns this. What? I think we kind of have to invade Poland now. We can't even form Russia and get cores on anything. This is all still just occupied. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, this is my evil plan for Poland. I'm just going to have them occupy all this land, and they're already getting 50% resistance in Moscow. It's gonna be terrible. They're gonna lose so much equipment and manpower trying to occupy all this, and then they'll never be able to break this line. We have a river, and if worst comes to worst, we can just move to the Ural Mountains, and then we're invincible. And we have so much cast that they're never gonna be able to break us. Yeah, they have 2 to 3 times the fielded manpower, but this is the kind of casualty ratio that we need to see if we're going to win this. Or we can just hope that Germany or somebody declares on them, maybe. And now we're going to start using one of my personal favorite generals, TR-07-137. Okay, and we've been getting a lot of encirclement settlements now. This is ideal. This is what we wanted to happen. Yugoslavia joined them though, but I guess now Greece is technically on our side. We finally have taken Moscow. It's taken forever. This is probably the worst case scenario with the map of how this went and Poland declaring and stuff. It would have been easier to just fight the Russian Empire by ourselves, but it's been okay dealing with this. We destroyed Poland's entire army, then Yugoslavia joined them and filled in all the places where Poland wasn't at anymore, so now we've had to destroy their army. Yeah, now we've taken the airbase outside of Moscow too, so I think that should fix all of our problems. Finally, Ukraine has capitulated the first of the three majors. Yugoslavia might be kind of difficult to capitulate, but if we can get around them before they can form a defensive line, then things will be okay. Their only hope would have been if they could have formed a defensive line in Bulgaria here, but yeah, I think they lost most of their divisions in Russia. Yeah, not much of a chance. And yeah, they've capitulated. At least we can annex them all now, but the border gore is still going to be terrible. I guess we have to Balkanize the Balkans though. Yeah, that's only fair. And yes, the Black Slate. Across Russia, from the corners of the Manchurian taiga to the docks Petrograd, a black curtain, which has been growing for years, has taken on a dread solidarity. A state of totalitarian measures formerly not even dreamed possible has risen and taken on a horrifyingly inhuman scale. Repression, surveillance, and control. What is truth? Yeah, the quotes are a little confusing because they're just numbers, but that's the leader, okay? OPO1. At least I don't have to worry about pronouncing Russian names now, because they're all just numbers. But yep, that's all for now. Maybe forever, I don't know, maybe we'll come back to this mod. This mod is absolutely insane. And the border gore is terrible, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.